the US military has shot down a second unidentified object. This was flying above Canada. It's the third object to be shot down over North America in the last week.
A Chinese balloon was downed last weekend, while on Friday an unspecified object the size of a small car was shot down off Alaska.
And now they're saying this one was cylindrical, which is sort of different again. Let's talk to former Defence Intelligence Operative at the CIA, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer. Good morning to you. What do you make of all of this? I mean, I know we haven't been told what's been recovered yet, and the recovery operation from what was shot down by the States yesterday hasn't happened yet. But what are we to think of this?
I think this is a test of resolve. Look, these have come within a week of the Chinese incursion of the balloon. I think these are related. We don't have confirmation that the Chinese have done this. With that said, many of us had forecast that because of the delay in response by Joe Biden, we would see more tests of our airspace, and that's what we're seeing. I believe this is simply Cold War brinksmanship. During the Cold War, I remember it because I lived through part of it. There was tests regularly by the Russians trying to see what they could get away with. And I think this could perhaps be the Chinese doing a very similar thing at this point in time.
Do we know what these... I mean, in terms of even just the shape and size of these objects, I mean, the first one was the size of a double-decker bus. It sort of looks like almost like a weather balloon. The second one, we're told, a small car. The third one, we're told, a cylindrical object. I mean, does any of that make sense to intelligence people?
Well, they're not telling us everything they know. I know for a fact that there was something that happened down in the Baja just within the last few days that they didn't report because it didn't actually enter U.S. airspace. And then off of Hawaii, one of our states, which again, they detected something in international airspace but did not shoot it down. So we're seeing a test across the board. DOD is being very reluctant to release all the information they have. Why that is, I can't answer that. But the two objects that they shot down, one in the Yukon, which you mentioned, the small circular object, and then the other one just north of Alaska, within about 800 miles of each other, I think are drones. They're some sort of unmanned object, remotely piloted, something that is designed to go, I think they said 40,000 to 50,000 feet. These things can interfere with air travel. I think that's the legitimate reason they shot them down. But DOD, the Pentagon's just not saying everything they know at this point. And I don't know why that is.
What questions does this raise about the defence of the US airspace? I mean, shouldn't they have seen it coming?
And that's a great question. And we have invested, the Canadians and us, NORAD has invested billions over the past 50 years in maintaining really clear and continuous surveillance of that airspace. And in some cases, like the Chinese balloon, they did see it coming. That was a conscious choice to not do anything until it got within U.S. airspace. That's a whole other story. I don't want to get into it. We could talk about that for 10 minutes. But these other smaller ones are much harder to detect. You could launch these things from a ship, from a submarine, well within the coastal limit, and then next thing you know, they're up there. So you have to have a certain amount of standoff of a radar to see it. So again, Ann, I think this is a test of our capacity to see what we will detect and how rapidly we can do it.